Pause. You're good. Thank you very much, Mr. Council President, and congratulations on your election to lead this 134th council. And if Councilman Polensek thinks getting 77% of the vote is tough, try getting 100%. It's not easy. I want to.
Me and you in that club.
Yeah. I want to rise tonight, Mr. President, to just be brief and thank a couple of people. My wife is here this evening, so I want to thank my wife, Dawn, for all the support that she's given me over the years. My 5 kids, Patrick, Mackenzie, Nora, Brianna, and Reagan. My EA, Linda, my events coordinator, Tanya, the staff at Bel Air Puritas, and of course, most importantly, the residents of Ward 16. Mr. President, this next council that's going to be leading this city for the next 4 years is very young, very inexperienced, but it's going to happen quick. To my colleagues who are just being sworn in for the first time, and for some of them, the second time. We're going to grow up, and we're going to grow up fast. But we're also going to have to realize that there are a lot of tough decisions to be made. And when you're in this game, if you want to call it, of politics and leading a city, it's not an easy thing to do. And there are going to be a lot of tough decisions that are going to be made. And you're not going to make many friends in this game. And Harry S. Truman was quoted one time as saying, if you want a friend in this city, get a dog. And that kind of is going to ring true for those of you who are about to experience what you're going to experience over the next 4 years. Because you're not going to be able to be an effective leader in this council if you're going to lead by certain philosophies. If you're not going to want to dig in and make the hard decisions. As I currently sit here, I have people who sit out in front of my house, writing messages on their cars, right, telling us how bad of people we are. But if there's one thing that rings true, and if you're a council person and you're a council person who's going to do the right thing, doing the right thing means you've got to do what your gut tells you every single day. We're not in a popularity contest. We're not here to win anything else for the next 4 years except for what's right for the residents of the city of Cleveland. Our own philosophies, our own beliefs should help guide us, but that's not what should lead us. We need to do what's right, even if the popularity of something isn't right, or the certain factions believe that we're not making the right decision. If you can sleep at night knowing that you've made the right decision, and I'll never forget, Mr. President, one of the very first vote that I had on council was whether to take the flats and make it its own little entity in regards to taxing themselves. And I remember that the council was split, and I remember being a freshman council person walking into this chambers on my very first day, calling my predecessor, former Councilman Sweeney, and asking him, what do I do? And his response to me was, you wanted the job, now you got to do the job. I'm not going to tell you how to vote. You vote your conscience. And then the other advice that I got from a former councilman was former Councilman Matt Zone, who said to me, Brian, you're only as effective and as good of a leadership as your word will allow you to be. So remember that when it comes time to saying you're going to vote one way and then voting that way. Taking a stand and being strong is going to make you an effective leader in this city. And our newly elected Mayor Bibb, congratulations on your recent election to lead this fine city. And I get tired of hearing how we're the poorest big city, and I get tired of hearing how this is a problem and that's a problem, because there's a lot of great things in the city of Cleveland that people don't like to talk about. But one thing that happened, Mr. Mayor, on the day before you were about to be sworn in is reality kind of slapped you right in the face. And that is that you're going to spend the first week figuring out how we're going to bury one of Cleveland's finest, who was the victim of a violent crime in this city. And there should not be one person in this room especially one unelected person in this room who is not outraged. And I understand that people want to criticize Cleveland Police Department because maybe they're not the politest people in the world at times. Because maybe they don't say the right thing 100% of the time. But what they do is they make sure that each one of us can go home at night and put our heads on our pillows and assure our safety, whether they're in uniform or they're out of uniform. And I will be that council person who will defend our Cleveland Police Department, because they are the ones that make sure that we are able to be safe at night. And heaven forbid anybody defend any individual who wants to commit a violent crime in this city from now on. Reality is we have crime in this city, and we have criminals, and it can't be the criminals that are running the streets anymore. It needs to be the good citizens of the city of Cleveland and our Cleveland Police Department, and we need to show that we have their back. All at the same time, Mr. Mayor, knowing that we need reform. But there's a right way to do reform, and there's a wrong way to do reform. And it's time that this city starts showing that we will not tolerate the criminal element or the aspect of crime in the city of Cleveland no longer. No matter what you may think, no matter how I may get blasted by one side or the other, the reality is that we're a dangerous city. And the only way we're going to be able to get out of the danger of that city is to assure that we have a police department and we have residents in the city of Cleveland who are going to step up and let them know that no more. It's not this time anymore. The crime in this city is out of control, and Mr. Mayor, we're looking to you. Mr. Council President, we're looking to you. And I know that the residents of the city of Cleveland are looking to this council to assure that we put our police department on a path that we are no longer going to be one of the most dangerous cities in the city of Cleveland. Mr. Mayor, I look forward to working with you. Mr. Council President, I look forward to working with you. To the residents of the city of Cleveland, thank you for your support of this whole council in general, and to the 134th Council, please, let's do what's right for the residents of the city of Cleveland. Thank you, Mr.